All right, gentlemen, we're in the house. Finally, after a few days hiatus, we're here. Hopefully, you're here because today it's trust, wills, estates, financial freedom is at stake. Your passing wealth is at stake. So, therefore, we have to talk about it. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late this evening, but once again, I'm in a new location temporarily, and therefore we had a family tragedy, and the funeral was this past few days. It was on Friday, so that's why I've been MIA, ladies and gentlemen, and even today I've been MIA until now, because we're back. And welcome again, and thank you so much for being here. Make sure you smash that like button on the way in because the YouTube gods doesn't know you're in the house. They shadow ban, so therefore you need to help out the program. Once again, let's talk about things tonight, but I have to give an honor to my aunt because you know when you have superstars in the family, it's only right that you should let others know how much of a superstar there was. Inside of our family is a superstar and also one of God's angels that was placed upon this planet because she would do anything for anybody, anywhere. And when you start talking about the homeless, when you talk about the drug addicts, she would stop in those locations to give food, clothing, money just by herself, where most people would be scared. But like I said, God's angels was always protected. She was one of them. And therefore, I have to give her the honor. But this was a very, very, very smart woman. And I have to give her dues because it's a funny thing in this world that we live in right now. In fact, let me see what this is right here. I see somebody talking. In fact, wait a minute. Where am I at? Hold on. Just a second. Did I lose the Ah, good. I didn't lose the console, but I did lose the console. I'm in another location, ladies and gentlemen. It's awfully hard to see, but things aren't looking like it normally does, so forgive me. I got to adjust and make a little bit of sense here. But I figured it was a good day, like I told you guys last week. This is my aunt right here. You can Google her. That's right. Googleable. That's how prolific, how great she was. The movie Hidden Figures. If you have not seen it, that was about NASA. She was working at Lockheed. She was doing the missiles. She was there, ladies and gentlemen, doing the mathematics. So I just want you to let you know superstars that you don't know about exist and other people take the credit for. You know, just like your normal job, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, why don't we check in and check this out? Because once again, what the? This is awesome. I don't know why this is happening right here, but all I know is I need to find the page. I'm not finding the page that I need to find, which is a travesty in itself. I got to cut this off. I don't know what that is. I have to find the page. What is this? This is crazy. I'm having all kind of difficulty here today, ladies and gentlemen, but it's okay. We're going to get to it in a second. Now I found out why I'm having difficulties. I'm in two different platforms. Oh, no wonder. Now I understand. Hold on a second. We have a little problem tonight. I have to do something else. And for whatever reason, I can't get this out. Why can't I? What the heck? We can't erase it? Ah, there we go. All right. Let's get down to the business at hand because I just realized what the problem is. I have several different screens open, so therefore we have a little problem. No worries. We're going to rectify the situation. I just want to ask, how have you guys been since I've been absent since Wednesday, Friday, and I came in late today? Let me know if you guys have been taking advantage of the stock market because once again, wills, trust, they do matter. Keeping your estate in your hands or your family's hands does matter. And we're about to get into it here shortly. All right? Don't worry about it. Don't worry. We'll get there. But once again, what can I tell you? The superstar has arrived. Here you go. Check this out. Check this out. You guys know my last name, Eric B. You can now see on screen the last name. My aunt, Lee Esther Bird, has a historical professional ties to San Jose, Silicon Valley area, notably as one of the pioneering African American women in the region, early aerospace and tech sector. Key details regarding her background and connection to the area include early tech career, graduating with degree in mathematics from Florida A&M, FAMU in 1962, cum laude. Number one, ladies and gentlemen. And because she was number one, she moved to California. And you know who came calling? Lockheed Missiles and Space Company showed up knocking on the door with her and her friend. That's right. Two people she showed up with pioneering roles. She and her lifelong friend, the late FAA executive Gladys Jones, were among the first wave of young black women recruited from historically black colleges and universities, otherwise known as HBCUs. You heard it, ladies and gentlemen, by major U.S. corporations to work as computer programmers during the dawn of the Silicon Valley tech boom. This is not the Silicon Valley tech boom that you guys are referring to. You guys don't know nothing about this. This is the 1960s, ladies and gentlemen. You know the NASA space shuttle situations. Mathematically, how could they rely on computers? They had to have verification from very smart people. That gets no credit because otherwise they would have never came back from the moon on that first space system because they had to double check the coordinates. And guess who double checked the coordinates? A hidden figure. That's right. Just like my aunt, ladies and gentlemen, who was there putting in the work, who gets no credit. And as far as everybody knows right now, no person of color was there. It was all done by some dumbass white dudes. That's the way it works in my book. And I'm just telling you right now. This woman, her friend, and many others that you saw the movie were there in the trenches making it work by hand. Not computers, ladies and gentlemen, by hand, mathematical equations from thousands of miles away from the planet and marking it off, saying this is what we need to do. Get it right, ladies and gentlemen. This history that is made in America sometimes skews the truth, sometimes, all times. So once again, now's the time for you to understand. Some of us can't sit idly by and just let this keep rolling like this. Okay, that's it. In honor of my aunt, just gotta say, she was one of them superstars beyond what they have written so far. There's more. I just wanted to pull up what AI has to say briefly, but there is so much more, ladies and gentlemen. Religion, theology, one of God's angels, she was that person on this planet. Going to help again. Anybody, everybody, humbly helping, even though she's one of them ones. She worked for Lockheed in the 60s and 70s and 80s. Do you understand what this means? Stocks galore, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand the moving up? Do you understand financially never having to worry? can go anywhere on the planet, anytime on the planet at a very young age, but instead she was at the hospital volunteering. Do you understand what I'm saying out here? This is what you guys need to go and do. You need to be out there and go help people without anything to worry about regarding their background. Just acting like Jesus himself, showing up to help anybody and everybody. There was no rigmarole that a person had to go through. So once again, just letting you guys know. Now let's get into this. Let me see who's in the house tonight. I got post-retirement travel. Another investor is here. He's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello all. Let's do this. That's what we do every live stream, Monday and Wednesday and Friday. And July 1st, we're going to have on Johan Confidante, the number one preeminent lawyer in all of the Dominican Republic, is going to be here in, is that 2 days? Is it really 2 days from now? Hold on, let me check this calendar. Hold on a second. It is 2 days on the Wealthy Wednesday night live stream at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Johan Confidante, Ask Johan will be live. You want to find out about real estate? You want to find out about business? You want to find out what to do regarding legal activities in Dominican Republic? You better be here, ladies and gentlemen, because this is something for the ages. Because he is my attorney, I will say that. But he's going to be answering your questions live. There's none of this send in the information so they can just go down a list to go check on it. No, live. You know what that means? That means you better know the law. And once again, post-retirement travel, thank you so much for being in the house. But he has that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate because that means he's supporting the channel. Thank you so much for all these years being here, my man. I appreciate that. And he brings his tagline as well. Sorry to hear that, Eric. Didn't she go through surgery? That is correct. Was that the one or another one? It's the same one, man, but she did not make it. She made it out of surgery. But due to mental issues, a signal wasn't sending the signal to open up her esophagus when she eats. So therefore, if your esophagus is closed, anything you eat goes through into your lungs, which causes aspiration, which causes pneumonia. And that's what basically got her where to the stage where it was not sustainable any longer. And even in the last hours, her husband came to see her. He sees her every day, twice a day, for a year or more, actually. I was with him honorably, and it was an honor to be with him, the nicest guy on the planet, supported my aunt, and I was there. That's where we've been, Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. So that is what I was doing over the last 9-10 months, and therefore every day. And that's why you guys noticed I missed some Mondays, I missed some Wednesdays, I showed up late. That all had to do with taking care of my aunt, making sure the best that could be done for her was being done. But we couldn't get to the finish line, ladies and gentlemen, but at least we tried. But now, because she's one of God's angels that he delivered on this planet, she's up there with him. And she's having a ball of a time, I'm sure. So, yes, it's the same one, man. And all I can say is I appreciate your support, post-retirement travel, and everyone that's supporting me over this journey. And with any journey in life, you learn a lot. And all I can tell you is you're out here playing games. You're out here eating foods that are banned by 75 to 85 countries. Some stuff that's in our United States food supply. You're over here eating pork and beef and things like this that are banned from 160 countries will not import United States meats. That's right, you heard me. Because of the stuff that's in our food. And in our country, they don't care about you. So now, well, let's get on with the trust, the wills, the estate planning situation. Because you guys got to understand, you're under siege. People are looking to get whatever you have worked for and what you have planned to give to your family if something happens to you. If you don't prepare right, the system is rigged, so you're going to lose it. And it's pretty simple. Let's just start with the wills, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, make sure you smash the like button because they don't like you having this information. The reason why they want you to have a will or not have a will is because every state in the United States has intestate. So if you don't have a will and you pass away, then it goes by the state laws that you died in or are a resident of. And in some southern states, let's just get real, it's ripe for people to argue, especially when people are married, and especially when in certain states they say it stays in each side of the family. So if you have a house, you're married, and one of the spouses passes away, the other family can knock on the door and say, I want my 60% of my family's share of this estate. Do you not understand? Somebody could be 60, 70, 80 years old and somebody knocks on the door. You've been married for 40, 50 years, but because they had a child by another party before they married you, they can knock on the door and say, I want my father or my mother's portion of this estate. If you are 75, 80 years old and you may have to come up with 100, 200, 300, $500,000 to pay them off, you may not be able to do so. So all your stuff that was free and clear, you go down and get a loan to pay them off just so you can live in your house. But now you're 75, 80 years old. Now do you understand how people lose their acres when they have 100-acre farms and they're saying, hey, how did our grandparents lose this and all this and that? Because they were told to have wills, ladies and gentlemen. Wills can be contested. A lawyer loves wills because they can easily contest anything. And every time they go to court, you owe them thousands of dollars. Never mind the initial 5 to 10,000 just to show up, and never mind how much you're going to have to ultimately give them. You're not rolling up to court and getting it done in two editions of court. How about another 5, 6, or 7? Because you're going to have people who didn't earn it, who had nothing to do with it, arguing over somebody else's wealth and assets, that they deserve it. That's right. So once again, this is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I am really looking forward to having a lawyer come on Wednesday, have some questions for him. That's right. Bring the lawyers for Johan. Bring the questions for Johan Confidante, the preeminent lawyer in all of the Dominican Republic, is going to be here in the house at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's right. An hour before our normal time, Eastern Time, not 8:50 p.m., 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:50 p.m. in DR time. All right? I just didn't want to have it at 9:50 his time. So you understand. So that's why it's 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to invest or are investing or thinking about investing in the Dominican Republic, you're going to have to be here with the lawyer. And by the way, a will is pointless. Just let me say this straight out. All right? Pointless. You need a trust. You need something that bypasses the normal probate system, and you need to make it nice and tight. You don't need to leave anything unturned with the trust. You need to put in who's going to succeed. If the trustee can't be the trustee, you need to appoint and make sure you have a succession. You need to make sure that you have safeguards in the trust so somebody that's a trustee can't ransack your trust and take all the money or 3/4 of the money based on fees. You got to put all this in there. And the number one thing that I love in a trust is anybody who contests this trust automatically loses anything that they were entitled to. That's one of my pet peeves about a trust that you can do, ladies and gentlemen. Just like a will, right? It should be. But a will, see, is different. You can contest wills by a probate court. That means it's open to interpretation. You can have people up there lying, telling half truths, and the judge has to determine, or a jury, if it gets to that, has to determine who's telling the truth. Daunting task. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to leave that open to interpretation now, do you? So, highly recommended, irrevocable trust instead of a will. Some people have pour over wills. But again, I'm not a big fan. I don't want to own any of the asset. I don't want to have anything to do with anything where somebody can pierce this thing and say, oh, yeah, well, see, it was just his own personal thing. He was running it all along. So therefore, it's not really a trust. It's not really irrevocable. So now all of a sudden, you're back to square one. You don't want that, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you can pass wealth along as well. So just keep that in mind. Number one, if you have a bank account or you have insurance, you put in the beneficiary. That bypasses probate, that bypasses everything, because if you pass away, then whoever you have as the beneficiary gets everything in a bank account and gets the insurance. That makes it easy. But it's personal possessions that's the problem. Real estate, that's the problem. Apartment complexes, that's the problem. See, these are the things that matter because they generate wealth for you. Corporations matter. All of this stuff can matter. So you better figure out how you're going to pass this to your heirs without your heirs having to fight each other on something they didn't earn nor had anything to do with 9 times out of 10. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So that's what we're talking about. You got to protect your estate. That's what we're doing. All right. That's the key right there. This is how you build wealth. All right. This is how you build wealth. Post-retirement travel. My wife and I just completed our wills. You're so correct. We had a close family member died without a will. Oh, man. And it has turned into a mess. Oh, my God. He's got the interstate. And the interstate, depending on what state it's in, if it's in a southern state, oh, my God, it's going to be bad. It's going to be very bad because they build this in. That's part of the system. Remember when we talk about systemic situations? This is one of them. They tell people as you're growing up from a small child, get a will, make sure it's okay. They know that people are going to argue. So the odds are out of 100 wills, 90 of them are going to go like haywire. They're going to be a problem. Family members are going to argue and fight and have attorneys. And then the attorney bills rack up. Then they put liens. So therefore, the property ends up costing the family money after 3 or 4 people all have to get attorneys separately, or 3 or 2 siblings or parents or whoever side up, and then the other 2 or 3 side up. But either way, the attorneys are laughing all the way to the bank. They're saying, hey, that's 30, 40 G's. But you can't pay? Well, we'll take some other form of payment. You know, you got like 50 acres over there, or why don't you just get a second on your house and pay us? Or all kind of options where you're going to have to give up something. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly right. You know, when I talked about this 3 years ago, 99% of everybody on the live stream said exactly what post-retirement travel's saying. Let me tell you, money and assets change people's hearts. Exactly. This is exactly what happened. 99% of everybody on that live stream said, this is what happened to our family. This is what happened to our family. Everybody fighting over somebody else's earnings, somebody else's wealth. And how do you fight over it? Because there's a will. You can't fight if it's an irrevocable trust. Understand? Simple. All right? James Way. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he's in the house tonight. Very happy to see you once again. Another investor is here, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is here. Hello, all. Great to be here. And yes, the rent is still too damn high. I know, James Way. You see what they're out here building right now? All these apartment complexes where people have to spend like 2, 3 G's to stay in an apartment. Everywhere I turn in the United States, it's turning into a third world country. They're like, here's an apartment for you. Here's an apartment building here. Let's just keep building apartment buildings because nobody can afford a home. Especially when insurance prices go up every year, property taxes, unrealized capital gains. And I crack up every time I talk about this. You guys are out here owning a home. Every year is unrealized gains. So what I mean is you pay your property taxes, but they go up based on an imaginary number because people in your homes went up in value over the last 10 years. So they're going, oh, we're going to take 10 or 20% off of this imaginary number, which is higher than what your house could be valued at. And you're going to pay the unrealized capital gain property tax. And oh, by default, because your insurance is based on the value of your home and your home price went up, now your insurance company charges you more money. You see how this works, ladies and gentlemen? You are the mark. But this is the point. This is why you have to figure out how to outsmart these guys. They're not that smart. But the thing is, you have to start thinking in terms of accumulating and keeping wealth beyond what you are doing. Okay? That's what you have to do. All right? Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. I got to see what's going on with my uncle. Just called me for some strange reason. I don't know why, but we'll see. Hold on. I gotta send him a message. I gotta see what we're talking about right now. Okay, now the rent is too damn high, James Way, no matter where you live. And property values are increasing no matter where you live. It's out of control. But this is why you need an irrevocable trust. I don't believe, look, you can have a will, you can have a pour over into a trust, but just keep in mind, there's rules that they put in place for the little people. They said, hey, if you try to get Medicare, Medicaid, they go by your assets. They could take some of your assets to pay for your Medicare or Medicaid. But if you have an irrevocable trust, you don't have any assets. You have zero. So therefore, now you qualify for all Medicare, Medicaid, if depending on your age, and now you're good to go. But if you have assets, they're going to try and tax that asset. All right? Just keep that in mind. All right? We got to keep this real out here. The OCs, you guys, ordinary citizens, you need to know what you're up against. After you're working your asses off, putting in that 401k money, and after you have millions of dollars sitting in a 401k, and heaven forbid you pass away early, and you didn't put in arrangements for that money to either have a beneficiary effect or go into your estate, and therefore keep helping your family generate wealth, well, it's going to be a very, very long day for the family, especially if you have several family members and they can contest your stuff. All right? Every time there's somebody that wants stuff for themselves that they did not even wake up and earn themselves or even participate with the family by helping them with any monetary numbers, helping them with rehab, helping them with doing anything. But for whatever reason, they feel they deserve it. And other siblings do not, or other family members do not. See how this works? You're going to have to protect yourself out here. So now that we have the trust situation understood, go. You know what? We have Google these days. In fact, you have AI these days. So there is no excuse. Free AI is out here helping people. There's no excuse that you should not find out about this. It does not even take a rocket science. This does not take anybody like me to say this. You guys need to understand. If you don't have any wealth, then maybe you won't care. But you're going to need wealth to survive in the future in the United States. When you live in a third world country, but you're in denial that you don't, when you have our resources tainted, when you have bad food supply, I don't know what you call this type of country. You don't have health care for all. I don't know what you're calling. You can refuse people's health care or you can accept people into health facilities, but their bills are tens of thousands of dollars. Now they're in bankruptcy or now they have a situation. I'm not finding how this is actually going to work out well for 300 plus million people. I really don't. So you better start figuring it out, ladies and gentlemen, because sooner or later, something's going to happen to you. And somebody's going to have to try and take care of you. And it is not cheap. Food is not cheap anymore either. Just to sustain yourself is expensive. Just to sustain a family of 4 is $30,000, I would guess, because I go to the store and I'm shocked. It's insanity. Eric, keep your DR property. We may have to make the move. Exactly. Cost of living in USA is insane. We save money every time we travel overseas, and that is eating out daily. It's crazy. Exactly. He's exactly right. Mr. Worldwide, too, is in the house. He knows exactly what time it was. We started talking about this like 6 years ago when we were talking about going around, leaving the country. Everybody should do that. Because once you leave the country and you start shopping, you're like, this can't be right. What do you mean, my I had we have three people at the table. We each had two drinks. We each ordered uh, a meal and we have leftovers. What do you mean it's $35? What are you talking about? Wait, you must have given me somebody else's bill. We just had six drinks, three full meals with leftovers. The food is excellent. What do you mean it's $35? What do you are you serious right now? And in some cases it's $25 depending on the country you're in. Do you understand what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? That's over $100 in America. Come on. Come on. Stop playing. Stop being ignorant. Stop being dumb out here. This is ridiculous. And I don't mean to say anybody's dumb and ignorant. I'm just saying you have to open your eyes. You can't believe any hype by any billionaire. Any billionaire that tells you anything, they're not in your best interest. While they get away with unrealized capital gains, they have stocks, they can borrow against them, they can sell them, they can do all kind of stuff. They don't count that as unrealized capital gains. But the house that you buy, you pay property taxes based on unrealized capital gains. And we got people shilling for these same billionaires and millionaires who go, oh, they don't need to pay anything extra. Meanwhile, they're using those stocks and those borrowing against them and everything to buy up the world. That doesn't make much sense, does it? Meanwhile, they have trust. Many of them. Their children have trust. Many of them. They have corporations in Wyoming, Delaware, New Mexico. So they're protected. Other states that you don't have to put the name of who the owner of the LLCs is there. So they have things that people don't even know about. But you sit around worrying about non-wealth activity. Got paid Friday night, partying, VIP bottles. Let's go down to the shopping malls or to the boutique restaurant or boutique clothing store where we're going to buy some clothes and down the street is jewelry. All of that, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to start concentrating on the wealth factors. That's the only thing that's going to matter in about another year and a half because we got it's going to be July 1st. 5 months to go to the SSN Nation prediction that started 2 years and 7 months ago. That's right. Get your 775 credit score or higher in order. Why? Because you want 0% interest for 36 months. T minus about 2 to 3 months. I should be seeing something like that. We'll see if my prediction is correct on that as well. Because you want to pay 0% for 36 months, not just 24 months. You have 24 months, 21 months right now that you should be participating in. You don't need even a 776 credit score. But what's going to end up happening? They're going to start giving rewards to those with the best credit so they don't have to worry about receiving payments every month because there's going to be a giant default that's going to come. All right? And these credit card companies are going to be scrambling. How can we get money in here? We better pick the top credit guys, 775 and higher. That's what they're going to do to offset it, to wipe out, because they're going to have to write off millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. That's going to hurt a lot of people's credit. So therefore, there's going to be a limited amount of people that always pays on time, and they're going to get premium justice for them, including those lounges, right? Those airport lounges, you guys know what those are. All right. The Amex one, the Centurion ones, the Chase, the lounges, all those things. If you travel, a lot of people don't travel anymore. It's expensive. All right? Costs me the same to fly up to Sacramento than it does to Atlanta. See how this works? This is getting out of control. Crazy stuff right now. So yes, post-retirement travel. Oh, speaking of that, Larimar City has not did the addendum, that I was talking about. They haven't done it yet, where they sent this information to me saying, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna not have you pay the late fee since you haven't paid. Since you haven't paid the late fee, we don't really care about that. As long as you make payment, we'll waive the late fee." I said, "Okay, you'll make an addendum for me, won't you?" They came back with, "Oh, yeah, let me know when you're going to start making payments." I said, "It's irrelevant when I'm going to start making payments because there's no reason to make payments. If you have the addendum and you say you're going to wipe out my late fee, then I might as well just wait till you're done. Oh, we're going to be finished in December 2026. Can you believe Larimar's talking this nonsense? Just like they said December or September of 2025. Now they're going December 2026, which is 5 months away. These guys. I'm like, I said, "Who are you talking to right now?" I said, "Let me explain something to you. Since you're in post sales, you do understand that you cannot even do a deed right now for the unit itself because the unit has not been completed. All of the units have to be completed before you can subdivide. So therefore, even if you owned it outright, which you don't, but even if you did, after you complete it, put in your separate meters and everything for the units, then you can get it subdivided. And that means you need deeds for all the units in the building. And you expect me to believe that you're going to be doing this in 30 days? Stop. First, you haven't even finished the building. So that's the first problem. Second problem, it normally is going to take a year, year and a half. So I said, nothing's going to happen until 2028 the way you guys are going right now. So I got 2 years. So if you don't believe me, go ask. And now you understand, I'm not making no payments until I see you guys have nearly finished the building because I know what you're going to do. You're going to do just what everybody else does. You're going to go, "Oh, hey, we're done with the building. But where's the deed at? Where's the deed? Oh, well, we don't have the deed. It's going to be 10 months from now. But come and take your closing and give us the rest of the money. We're good. Trust me, bro." I'm like, I'm not trusting no bros anytime, any place, anywhere, no time, no how. You understand this, ladies and gentlemen. So this is part of your wealth building, not to lose money on deals where people make it seem like it's easy, but you don't know the information. Now you know the information. So I said, wake me up in 2028. I said, the best case scenario is if you had everything together, you might deliver December 2027. But I said, I know you guys don't operate like this. You don't. So I'm not believing that you're going to wake me up in 2028. Then we'll see where things sit. But I'm not starting any fucking payments right now. Excuse my language. They're not relevant since you're not penalizing me, which is awfully nice. I appreciate that. But I need that addendum. And then I said, even the best thing, I said, you know what? I said, if I did have the addendum and you guys actually agree to all of this, then I might be talking about Larimar again because this would be at least one thing that you guys are doing right. But I said this thing about you delivering December 2026 and saying I should catch up to make sure that I'm going to be ready for December 2026. I'm like, you've lost your mind right now. I just explained to you, there's no way that's going to happen. No way, no how. You're not going to be. And you haven't even finished yet. You haven't even finished the 17 stories yet. The way you're building, I mean, this is 2027 before you even finish covering the building. And by the way, they're not doing a full panel situation. They're they didn't make the panels go and build the walls at the same time. It appears from some of their videos. So it looks like they're doing the interior hand to hand. So that means there is no way they're going to finish this year. let alone I'm kind of like, geez, maybe, I don't even know, maybe even next year. If they did, it would be like in the fall of next year. And then we start the clock. I would predict a year and a half. So by rights, we might be at 2029, like the original prediction. 2030 is what I said 2 years ago. So it looks like if they keep this nonsense up, they might be at 2029, 2030, and they're asking everybody to make payments right now because they're going to deliver in December 2026. That's not possible. Just like it wasn't possible for September 2025, anything like that. So again, this is why you need to protect yourselves out here. And one way you protect yourself with your wealth that you earned, financial freedom, pass wealth down, protecting everything, you have to start doing that protection mode. Asset protection is what you're trying to do, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be shy out here. This is hard work to do. Once you accumulate the wealth, somebody's always trying to take it from you. Just remember that. That's the number one thing. Some of you have never had your brokerage accounts held up, stolen, right? Some of you have never had your bank accounts money stolen. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. You got AI now. You can go find out for yourself. You don't need, this is so crazy. You can just find out. Just put in, hey, has people had their bank accounts stolen or brokerage accounts held up for years? And they'll probably say, yeah, it happens. See, some of you don't realize where you live. And therefore, you need to start asset protection right now in a broke country that's $40 trillion dollars in debt and more than that. But we'll go with the 40 trillion number, but it's actually get closer to 50. We can't even pay interest only. Our interest only, we can't pay. That's as much as damn near our GDP. So therefore, that's a problem. All right, let's go. Okay, what was your contract? 20, 40, 40? No, 10, 40, 50. Yep. Oh, sorry. It was, wait a minute. I think it was 10, 30, 60. But again, according to them, I only paid 13,500 or 14,200. I don't remember the number. But I went there to pay in person, and they don't even have that. So again, it's kind of sketchy. So I have to have the receipts. If I don't find my receipts, then I paid them probably $6,000 to $8,000. I just can't remember the amount. But it should be around 20 to 22,000. It should be somewhere. At first, I thought it was 17 to 19, but now that I started thinking about it, I was like, wait a minute, I gave them three, one, two. So it's somewhere around 6 or 7 G's. So it's either 19 to 22 or 21 before I stopped paying. I had 3 months apart, just so everybody understands. If you're going to do no credit check, no qualifying, no barrier to entry pre-constructions, what you do is you load up your front end, you pay every 3 months, and you make lower amount of payments on the front end. So then on the back end, your payments are going to be higher to offset the lower amounts, right? Instead of paying a constant amount monthly, like let's just use an example. I think, well, I don't remember this number, but let's just say it's $2,000 per month. That means you owe $6,000 every 3 months, right? So if you don't pay $6,000 every 3 months, is my contract was skewed toward my first month was 1,000 or 1,500. First 3 months, 1,000 or 1,500. Then it escalated like 1,800. The next one, then it escalated maybe 2,500 or something like this. I can't really remember. But the point I'm trying to make is on the if everything would have been going how it was supposed to this year, oh no, sorry. I would have already paid my 40 or 50%. I can't even remember the contract. But the point is my last year of payment starting in like December, my payments were going something like 6,500, then 7 grand every 3 months. It was going like that. Then it was like 7,300, 7,500. So it escalated to offset the first year and a half. Then it changed over to I had to pay that offset. So Since they were acting foolish, thinking that September 2025 was going to be a number, we're going to be here in another 2 months. It's going to be September. So they're going to be officially 1 year late and officially 2 years late. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be done September 2027 either. So, but everybody who kept paying, they gave them 50% or more and no delivery. And there's things that you could do. You could keep paying at 0%. That's good for people to reduce it without having any mortgage. But that's how it goes. Most of the builders now are doing 20, 40, 40 at closing. Yes. But here's the thing. That's not most of the builders, though. Builders have reverted back to 10. Oh, yes, there's a lot of builders that do 10. So you have to ask, because they'll put out there this number, 20, 40, 40 is what they put out there. But you have negotiation rights. You should say, oh, no. No, no. Everybody who buys in DR right now should be going, oh, no, you guys are all late. I just want to put down 10%. I want to give you guys $1,000 the first 3 months. 3 months from now, $1,000 or 15, whatever. You should be paying less at the beginning, because the first sign that you realize that they're not going to deliver on time, you better start figuring out, do you want to keep paying no delivery on time? Like I said, there's people that paid 50, 60, 70, 80% September 2025. Do you understand the stock market, by the time this has started, has doubled and then some? You could have had your money in stocks that have went up 20x, 30x. But instead, you had it locked in this pit that's just going. The 14, I think it's 14,000. The 14,000 they've been holding since 2023. You guys do understand that that would have been 40 to 50 grand right now, because we're messing with NVIDIA. We're messing with Okta. We're messing with Apple, right? You understand this, right? Their stocks were nowhere near what they are now, and these guys have split to boot. We mess with PSEC at 17% annually. You understand what I'm saying? 17% annually. You understand that's 2 or 3, 20, what is that, 2,400 or something like that, annual return just on interest only? If it was all in that, but it wouldn't be. But the point is, the other stuff this would be triple what the number was from 2022, 2023. This would have been my down payment of the 60% roughly. This is crazy, or 50%. But instead, the 14% earns nothing. So is it worth it? I don't know. But no more 20, 30, 50 at closing. No, 10, 30, 60 is what it was. And by the way, again, post-retirement travel, you're dealing with high-end things, right? So they treat you guys differently because you guys have the money. I look at things differently, whether I have the money or not. I'm always doing my deal. If they don't do my deal, well, I back out. It's that simple. I've lost 4,200 or 4,100, whatever it was, for backing out of a deal when I wasn't supposed to lose that, but I did. But the point is, they didn't build what they were supposed to build. They don't have the amenities they were supposed to have. So at least I did not give them their 60% and then find out later that they weren't building what they were supposed to build. And late. So it's a good thing, because I don't even see none of the buildings on Airbnb or VRBO. So I don't even know if they even delivered yet. Simon Residences 2 at Primavera 2. I don't even know. Because they may not even have title. Because again, you have to subdivide after you build it. So that's another, like I said, 1.5 years, 2 years if you don't own the land. 2.5 years if you don't own the land. and you made a deal where you're just paying a monthly payment and you have the rights to use the land based on your contract, but the title hasn't been changed. So now once you pay them off, title changes. So that's why they go with this, give us the money, it's delivery. They don't even have the deed, which is one of my pet peeves. I'm like, I can't give you any closing money unless you show me that you have a deed in your name. And knowing DR, even if it is in their name, they still have to transfer the deed into my name. And that takes a year minimum, just so you guys understand. So there is no way on this planet that I'm taking closing of something I don't own. That's all I'm going to say. You need to give me my money back or something. That's the way it goes. But they know how your lawsuits go in the DR. There's things changing in the DR. This is what should be very interesting. We'll ask Johan in 2 days. All right, back to the trust, the wills, the financial freedom, the wealth, ladies and gentlemen. You got to pass it down. Don't hem and haw. If you're going to do irrevocable trust, remember there's a 5-year look back for your Medicare and everything. So again, you got to pay attention. All right. 4100. Oh, I see. Not Larimar. You did get your money from the beach, right? No, I didn't. Never put money down at the beach. It was for the gardens. What do you call them? Panorama Gardens. My unit at Panorama Gardens. They gave me back my 18,000 or 17,000. All of it, 100%. That's the Epic Ventures group. But then they screwed everybody because they charged people 18%. Everybody had to pay 18% more. Unless you had Johan, who had a 10% cap. So I would have had to pay, I paid 123. 10% more, I would have paid 135. Everybody else had to pay 145. And only had to pay him, 12 or 1800 because it's 1%. So something of this nature. So it was well worth it. I would have saved 10 grand. And we probably could have pushed where they would have lowered it as well, even though that was in the contract because it was up to 10%. So might have gotten a few points off. But we never got there because after they started talking about, you guys who've been here know, they started saying they were going to charge for the amenities that were supposed to be free. I was like, oh, hell no. Not on my watch. I'm not in this. But they did change it back. But speaking of Panorama Garden, you don't even see anybody renting those out. I don't even know if they're fully finished yet. And this is from 2020, ladies and gentlemen. 2021, 2020. 6 years ago almost. Still not done. And even then, they changed up a little bit. Things look a little differently. It doesn't look like gardens. Panorama Gardens looks like any other complex. No gardens like they made it seem in the renderings. They changed, never mind. Never mind. The point is, whatever you do out here and you accumulate wealth, you need a trust. An irrevocable, not revocable, irrevocable trust. You want to do pour overs, then you need to see a lawyer. All right? You can formulate your trust on AI. Saying, hey, this is what I want to do. AI prompts you to ask questions before you can actually see a lawyer. You might say, this is what I want to do. Is this legal? Ask AI. It may or may not be correct. But at least when you go see an attorney, an estate planning attorney, at least you'll be like, hey, man, this is what I'm thinking. Make sure you have the spendthrift in there because that protects your beneficiaries. Because the spendthrift says this money goes directly from the trust into their account. This is not to be used, can't be touched as far as lawsuits go. It can't be touched as anything because it's based on our trust agreement. That's how you do it. Because a lot of people who have trust, when they get sued, people try to say, oh, they get like $5,000 per month. That means that's income. Nope, not an income, but that's why you need the spendthrift in there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Simple. You protect your beneficiaries as well. I know, it's sweet. So that's why the rich have trust. All right, EV Place is in the house. Another investor's here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And not only is he an investor in the real estate game, he's an investor in the stock market game, and he invests in other services as well. He's the man, and he's here tonight. And with that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate, EV Place. Good evening, SSN. I hope you all are doing well. That's right. Everybody out here, hopefully you're doing well. Your health is your wealth. But again, you never know when your health is going to fail you. You never know when you're going to need a irrevocable trust. You never know when you might want to pour over will. You never understand when things happen. When it's nice and calm is the best time to plan. You don't want to plan when all of a sudden there's an emergency because you're not thinking properly. You want to plan when you're in peace because then you can think rationally. You don't have your emotions are not high. You get to sit back and reflect and think about all kind of different things. You open your mind up, no pressure. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're talking about tonight. Making sure that you make it possible that you keep your wealth in the hands of where you want it to be. Now, if you don't care, then no, you're not going to do any estate planning. You're not going to do any irrevocable trust. You're not going to do any financial freedom plan because you're like, you know what, I'm going to spend it all and all, give it all away. But if you plan on trying to pass something down to family or loved ones or children, then you better start setting it up right now because you do know what comes next. If you think they're going to charge you $4 or $5 grand now, wait till it's a real big thing. And next thing you know, they're going to block everybody because not everybody, but a lot of people, they're going to go, oh, that's 20 grand. If you want to do that, you see where this goes? It's systemic in America. Now that you guys know what to do, you can use AI to formulate. Just tell AI, hey, I want to do an irrevocable trust. What's the pros? What's the cons? Just go with it. Just go look. You got AI out here, free AI. They tell you pretty good stuff. It may not be 100%, but at least it gets you in the ballpark so you understand what's happening and then you can ask questions. Why not? It's free. I'm using free AI right now. It's getting better and better, by the way. They must be doing some upticks because I've been messing around with some other stuff. Man, you guys know we were talking about Death Stars and all this stuff. There was only going to be like 3 or 4 of them. They just keep improving. I'm just like, man, this is getting out of hand. I've been messing around. I have a little bit of time because I'm trying to protect an empire, which is why I had to step back myself. I have to take my own advice. Had to step back. I was going to do something possibly irrational or rational, but I said, you know what? My emotions are high. Let me relax. Let me get into comfort zone. I had to deal with my aunt's funeral, but not me personally. I didn't set it up. So I just had to show up. But still, you know, you have family members from all over the country, all over the world showing up, giving their honor and praise and glory. And so, you know, I was not in my right mind. You know, we're seeing family members we haven't seen ever. We have family members we only heard about. We had family members who are also not in good health that, you know, we would not see normally. So it's emotional. So I figured we got to chill out for a little bit, or I do, because I had a lot of emotions going on. And so I had to take my own advice because I want to make sure that we get this stuff right. But in the meantime, I'm getting a little therapy. So, you know, as you're doing investments, you start thinking about different investments, different ways of doing something. And the next thing you're like, oh my God, I would have never thought of this before. Now it's like, mind is free, mind is clear, we're rocking. All right. So I'm not going to be on here much longer, ladies and gentlemen. It's an hour long. This is probably going to be on the podcast, iHeart. Thank you guys very much for listening out there on the podcast networks. I appreciate the love because you guys know the shadow ban stuff on some of these platforms, it really, really sucks, especially when you don't get checks. Just saying. So it's up to you guys to help us get the word out. You have ordinary citizens that do not understand that there could be putting together their own trust. And I keep saying irrevocables, but Do your homework. Some people don't like irrevocables, but I do. Just saying. So study it. You got AI, you have Google's, you got Microsoft's, you got everybody. You can cross reference. You got Claude for free for a little bit. You got all kind of stuff. Just do it. Let's go. Did you know Robinhood has an AI account where you can use AI Claude to execute trades for you? Yes, I know. I saw that and just shook my head. I opened one and then instructed Claude to do certain trades for me. It's crazy. That's where we're going. That's exactly right. And that's the value of it, because if you pay, that's a whole nother ball game. If it's included, that's a whole nother ball game. Like right now, I have Microsoft. It's included because if you do Microsoft monthlies and stuff like that, which I have, I didn't even realize I had it. So therefore, I can actually use the pay version. But you know what's funny? The pay version sometimes has incorrect info. I was like, I questioned several times. I'm like, whoa, hold on. You can't, this is not going to work. And it comes back and says, nice catch. I'm like, that ain't good enough. I wasn't supposed to be nice catching anything. I gave you strict instructions, at least that's what I'm telling it. Elite, best in class, enterprise grade, prestige. We about to kick some ass. And they're going to be trying to kill us by software, by other things, not by physical, but they're going to be trying to take us down. So we have to be on point. That is the mandate. That's the manifesto. So any of this nice catch stuff, I'm not happy, because I never should have had to catch this BS you spewed. You should be on point. This is the manifesto. So I finally found an AI that's doing some manifesto stuff. I mean, dang, it took them long enough. I said, let me keep rolling with this. Let's see what happens if I continue to go down this path. And so I'm just making up all kind of little different scenarios, and it's coming back with, well, since you're best in class, then this is what you should be considering as well as a recommendation. I said, now you're talking. And this is a free version, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to tell you which version I'm using, but it's free. It's out there. It's well known, if not number one or number two browsers in the world, as a hint. Not even paying. And it's coming back with some stuff that I was like, oh, now we're talking. It then went over to the other side, because again, when you start telling remember, AI is nothing more than machine learning. Just remember this. They're just calling it a different name. So once the machine starts realizing who they are, who you are, you prompting it with things such as, you know who these guys are? Why are you messing with me right now? You know they're over there doing crazy stuff, spying on people, using their software and web crawlers and spyware and all this stuff. You know they're doing this. Why are you acting like they're nice people? And then it responds with, oh yes, we know. And I said, you know they're gatekeepers, right? They're like, huh? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Why are you playing? Oh, you mean because they do this, 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 and this? I said, yes, exactly. They're our enemy. I'm just straight up. They're our enemy. No, and we're not friends with them. Do you understand? We're not friends. In fact, we're trying to kick their ass. This is the manifesto, like I said before. Now all of a sudden it's recommending, hey man, you might want to upgrade this because of the gatekeepers. This is what they do. Exactly my point, man. And AI is not real, ladies and gentlemen. Did you guys know this? Do you know AI is not real? So I can go to Agent Opus right now, have a song, anybody's music. I can come up with a video, a cartoonish video that they're going to do. The cartoon video belongs to the world. You can't copyright it. You can't do anything. But The underlying music, now that's a different story. That belongs to somebody. That's copyright material. That's some stuff you can't use. But the fact of the matter is somebody can take the video and do anything with it. And it doesn't matter who created it because it's AI. So that's the fact of the matter is when you're on AI, none of it can be held up in a court of law. In reality, if you just trust that specifically, and there's an error in there, which there are errors, you better not use it strictly as is and take it to a court and do stuff because the errors will be exploited. You better see the professionals, real world professionals. All right? Just letting you know. Post retirement travel, you provide Claude the trade parameters to execute via Robinhood. It's like having your private financial advisor. Exactly. Some people are loading crazy algorithms in Claude and getting passive income. Exactly. This is where it goes. And this is what the big dogs have been using for years. The Black Rocks, all the companies that's in the financial sector who do funds and they have assets under management of 800 million, 500 million, 2.5 billion. All of them guys have been using AI this whole time. Do you understand? All right? Because they're the ones that could afford it. And that's building wealth. So right now, post-retirement travel has built an algorithm that they're using and able to trade based on his parameters. Do you understand? He has that parameter. Other people may not. He can pass that on to his family. That turns into an asset. You understand this? By default, because your family, you say, hey, here's the account. This is the parameter. This is where it stays. This is passive income. This is how we use it. Do you understand? This is very, very powerful. This is how you can have financial freedom, build wealth for generations. And AI is just going to get better and better. But then it's going to come to a head because more and more people are going to be using AI, which now means some people are going to be using it for sales, positive, negatives, ups and downs, telling it to do all kind of crazy things. And that's going to turn into a certain amount of dollars that's going to be available. So it's going to be very interesting how this all plays out like 3 years from now. So that's going to be very interesting. Again, I'm going to cut this short, ladies and gentlemen, because it's very nice seeing you all again. I've been gone for seemingly more than a week, but it hasn't. But I want to thank everybody for being here tonight, and I appreciate your support once again for my aunt, for me, for our family, and for being here tonight on the Money Making Monday live stream. All right, here we go. Why don't you try your Forex parameters and trade your currency pairs? You were using a bot before, right? Exactly. And they were probably using an AI to make the bot. You know what I'm saying? What AI has done in the last 8 months has changed dramatically. Even the free versions are off the charts right now. Again, I want a story for life. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm using the free version. I'm not even using the Microsoft because the Microsoft version, it has errors. And why do I know? Because what I do is I put some things in that I already know the answer to, and I give it to them to solve. And then they come up and say something. And like I said, then I go, oh no, you can do this, this, and this. And they say that infamous thing, nice catch. I'm like, okay, man, this ain't working. All right. So that's why you got to double and triple check things, even if AI gives it to you, because they even have in there, some things may not be right. And they are correct. Some things are not right. All right. That's how it works. So just keep that in mind. This is trust. This is wills. This is estates. You can build them with AI. Do you understand? This is very powerful. The ordinary citizen no longer needs to know 100% of something they never knew about. Now you can actually learn in mere minutes by asking the correct questions. You have to know, it works best if you know a little something, because then you know the questions to ask. Because if you don't know something, you don't know the questions to ask. So they're going to give you generic stuff. So if you're trying to pinpoint something, you need to be able to go deeper than just surface level knowledge. You got to know something. And that's what gives a huge advantage to people like a post-retirement travel who is trying and is using the AI because he understands by his wheel method, he can put in the exact parameters that has been working for him and other factors that maybe he can test out and think about that he thought was a good idea and find out. That's the beauty of knowing past the certain surface level stuff. And that's what's going to happen. And this is wealth building. See, this is where people are confused. This is not here in the SS Nation. You're not going to be confused because you're going to be building wealth based on artificial intelligence, just like the big boys. That's right. They're not smarter than you. They just had tools that was not available to the general public. So that made them smarter than you. But in reality, now that that AI has been released, now everybody can learn. Nobody can get a far enough away head start. They can talk a good game, but eventually they have to execute. And execution is always the number one thing. AI can tell you how to execute. It's up to you to get the people in place that's going to make it happen. That's also part of the new wealth that's coming. All of this is new wealth that's going to be able to be generated by ordinary citizens who never did anything other than work for somebody else. But now you have a dream, go for it. AI helps you. They can actually help you set it up. You can actually ask them, what's the cheapest way that I can get to this market? Simple. It's there for you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be scared. Don't run away. You better embrace it because you will be left behind. People won't be having jobs. This is what AI is already doing because they can answer questions in mere seconds. They don't need a team of people to come back in the boardroom next day to give us what you guys brainstormed and what you've been working on to make this project work. The project's already worked and done in a few mere hours or less. So again, things are moving too fast. You better be part of the revolution or you're going to be dropped off on the first floor while this thing's going to superstar floor. Understand where you're going, ladies and gentlemen. You better start making plans now, all the way around. If your health is not well or in order, you never know when you're going to pass away. My cousin passed away. He's 58 years old. Preceded my aunt. Do you understand? This is major. This is crazy. This is major. I'm trying to remove it, but thank you again for being here. And I just want to let you know health is real. That's an asset. That is wealth. You better understand where you live. Water is tainted. Food's tainted. Everything is tainted. Plastic's tainted. It's bad. Pharmaceuticals are tainted. Just remember that. Black boxes on everything. Jay Cunningham, I see you. Thank you so much for being in the house, man. On this Money Making Monday live stream. Another person in the house. Make sure you guys hit that, smash that like button. Let the YouTube guys, let the Instagram guys, let the Twitch guys, let the Facebook guys, let the iHeartRadio stars, hearts, check boxes. Make sure you guys do all of it. Because we're coming back, ladies and gentlemen, with a vengeance. We got a lot to do, a lot to work with, a lot to work on. And some of you out there are going to enjoy the ride. That's all I'm going to say right now, because once again, I'm going to start getting hyped. But I got a few things I need to still work out, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Remember, I had to have a 2-week hiatus, all right, before we have to go down a path that I don't want to go down, and maybe I don't have to, but we will find out how this is all going to play out, because this right here that remember I told you guys I've been talking about for the last month or so, 2 months, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than the SSN Nation. This is bigger than anybody can think of right now. Because once you understand the ecosystem here in America and around the world, there's only a handful of people controlling a lot of levers. And now we are going to infiltrate it. And we have ideas that's not even out yet. So therefore, they're going to be caught off guard. They can't steal and send their iPhone and Google user guys and download the stuff and then spy and find out what we're doing. Not going to happen. You understand? So they're going to be shocked, surprised, and as they said before in war, shock and awe. They're going to be like, somebody shut this down. We don't know how it slipped by us. Where did they come from? How did this happen? That's right. I'm looking forward to it. And this is a manifesto, and I'm adamant about it. I'm about to give something up that I probably should not, but I'm going to do it because there's one thing that my life is predicated on. I want to free everybody and make them be able to have financial freedom, make them be able to have wealth without them being suppressed. And people are being suppressed without knowing it, simply by the system. And they don't realize how suppressed they are and the damage that is occurring because of it year after year, day after day. We're going to be talking about it as we get things in order. But that won't be for probably another 3 weeks or maybe longer before I can talk about it, because we're going to have to do things. All right? We're going to have to get things in order at first. Everybody who's on our Instagram, in fact, we got Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. Go over there and show some love. They took away like 50 of our followers when I said, hey guys, we reached over 1,000. We were up to like 1,002, 1,003. All of a sudden, 50 followers gone. This is what they do over there. So 1,000 must mean something over there. I don't know what it means, but it must mean something. Because all of a sudden, missing. So now we're back up to 979 followers, 21 short of the 1,000. Weird. So, stop struggling now on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. We're on live right now. That's right. We're on live. Everybody gets to see us. Let's go. I'll see you guys on Wednesday night. Thank you so much for being in the house. More of my family members will be gone over the next few days. So I'll be calmed down a little bit more. And we're going to be talking about this trust, will, estates, making sure you get right. I can't leave you guys hanging. I don't want you OCs out here with your behinds open, as we used to say. All right? We don't want that for you. We want you to be proactive. A lot of people wait till the last minute before doing anything, and then all of a sudden something happens and it's too late. You got to make plans while everything's in peace. That's the best time. No rush, no stress, just looking through information and gathering information and then being proactive to protect yourself and your family and loved ones. That's as simple as it can get. So hopefully I'll see you guys on Wednesday night when Johan Confidante shows up from the Dominican Republic, the preeminent lawyer in all of DR, is coming here to answer your questions in the Ask Johan Live at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you be here. It's already up, so you can actually hit the check box to make sure you're notified. It's already up, ready to go. That's right. So there's no excuse for you right now. You can see it mainly YouTube for sure, Facebook for sure. You guys can check it out. All right. Make sure you guys get it. Twitch for sure. Make sure you get it, especially if you want to invest in the Dominican Republic. Any questions you have, he's answering. But you got to be in the house, because on replay, no answers coming. So you might as well get there. The chat room's open as it always is. So you have no excuses. He can see the questions. He's going to answer. We're on that time right now, ladies and gentlemen. He's one of them guys that help people. And that means he's part of the SSN Nation by default. That's what we do here. That's the goal. Rising tides, lift all boats. This is what we do. And we try to make it sure that the winners are going to be the OCs as best we can. We're trying to facilitate this. There's more OCs than rich guys controlling everything. It's time to take back your power. As they say, power to the people. That's what we do here. So let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. But once again, it's going to get harder. The money's not flowing like it used to be, and it's flowing straight to the top. The only way that you can actually get a piece of it is you have to join the party, one way or another. Investing in stocks, creating your own businesses, figuring out investments, real estate maybe, business investments, all type of different investments, crypto investments, who knows? You're going to have to figure out the investment that meets your criteria. But one thing's for sure, you better have the 776 credit score by the end of the year. You better have real estate or a business outside the United States. You better have a bank account outside of the United States. That would be very, very important. You have 6 months left, 5 months left, actually. December 31st, 2026, time is up. But don't worry, I always give you a runway. You always have a runway with me. There's no definitive thing. I just make that the thing so you're prepared. Because I know at the end of this year, there should be 0 for 36% interest rates. 0% interest rate for 36 payments. I'm about to get another card today. Or not today. I'm going to get another card that's 0% interest for, I think it was, I didn't do 24 months. But this is because I travel and I have free baggage, free carry-on, 2 pieces free baggage, 1 free carry-on for the flights. I said, okay, I'll take it. Give me the 15. I think it was 15 months. It is 15 months. And give me like 75,000 air miles. Thank you very much. I'll take it. And the miles don't expire. I'll take it. Not that I need to use it, but I will be using it at 0% interest, probably getting some more free miles and things like this, because right now I just basically just pay it anyhow. So I'll just use that card and then pay it off after I see the charge in the next 24 hours. I'll just make the payment. So I'm always going to owe 0 anyhow. But it's good that it's 0 anyhow for 15 months. You see where we're going with this, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, and by the way, the 75,000 miles, that's very interesting because they got things like 10,000 round trip, 20,000 international. So, I mean, this is going to be very interesting because I might have to do Mr. Worldwide Tour or something with the free stuff. And I don't have to pay for any bags. Pfft, are you serious right now? Crazy. All right. This is where it's going, ladies and gentlemen. I told you. This is just a start. This is just a tidbit of what's about to come. That's why you need those high credit scores. This is why you need the bank account outside the United States. This is why you need real estate outside the United States or a business outside the United States. So that way, if you need to flee, I use the word flee, or need to leave, that's part of your wealth program. Just like the rich guys buying up jets, buying up properties outside the United States so they can leave. Are you getting a hint, hint? And when you have a business outside the United States, that's also wealth. You know why? Do you guys understand why Apple, Google, all these guys keep money in businesses outside the United States? Because the money's not really trackable until you bring it on to U.S. soil. So the money stays out. That means you're not going to be taxed. The business is not inside of America. Do you understand how this is working? Google, AI. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. This is easy. This is rocket science out here. This is not rocket science. All right, let's wrap it up. Make sure you stay safe out here because you never know what's going on in somebody else's mind. There's a lot of people right now that's finding it very, very hard and difficult to live in the United States, and it's by design. Just keep that in mind. Once you have a person down and out and weak, that means they can roll over on you. So therefore, you got to stay strong. You got to figure out how you're going to be able to stay strong, and you're going to have to build up that wealth asset protection plan. Start it now. And with all that said, make sure, no matter what you do out here, keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.